Of those 23, 16 will be females. 16 is love. We love you guys. We're going to help you recreate your Zion. But 16 is 4 squared. 4 is things of the world. We'll help you rebuild your real world out of death. If you build on a foundation of death, how are you going to create life? 7 males. 7 is masculine perfection and completion. How can this be completion when your world is created from ours, which is founded in death? Failure to comply with the process will result in a cataclysmic system crash, killing everyone connected to the matrix, which, coupled with the extermination of Zion, will ultimately result in the extinction of the entire human race. You got to help us. You have no other choice. Isn't that what the architect's telling them? There's no other choice. Remember what the oracle said? The future is we go together. Now, Neo, you came here to destroy the matrix. But you're too late. If you destroy the matrix, you will destroy 99% of the humans that are trapped in the matrix. How are you going to save them? You shut the matrix down. How are you going to save the 99%? They'll die. But in the meantime, our machines will have killed everyone in Zion. You will have exterminated all the humans. The only thing you can do, which is logical, is work with us. If this was a Hollywood movie, wouldn't that be the time to stop this movie and wait for the exciting conclusion? But the movie goes a little farther yet before it reaches that position at the end of Matrix 2. Neo says, you will not let that happen. You can't. You need human beings to survive. The architect. There are levels of survival we, the machines, are prepared to accept. However, the relevant issue here is whether or not you are ready to accept responsibility for the death of every human being in this world. Isn't it nice being the leader? You get to make these really, really, really important decisions. The life and death of the whole world is on your back, Neo. That's why you've been chosen to be the one. Neo's just standing there looking at him, puzzling. Is he telling me the truth? What's wrong? What do I do here? The architect goes, "'Tis interesting in reading your body language, your reactions. Your 5 predecessors were by design based on a similar predication, a contingent affirmation that was meant to create a profound attachment to the rest of your species, facilitating the function of the one." Bob, what did he just say? Huh? The other 5 did go ahead. What persuaded them? They were put in a very precarious predicament. He says here, let's read it very carefully. Your 5 predecessors were by design. Design? The matrix created a condition to which their emotional reaction would elicit a predetermined action on their part to help us. That's what he's saying. Listen to it again. Your 5 predecessors were by design, program in the matrix, based on a similar predication. Oh, we're going to throw the guilt of the world on you unless you decide to go along with us. It'll be on your shoulders that all of the humans die. A contingent affirmation, we need you to agree with us, that was meant to create a profound attachment. You emotionally have to be attached to the problem that's been created by the programming in the machine, so you'll go along with what we want you to do. How are you making a free choice? You came here to shut down the system to make a free choice. That's your liberty. And you're not going to make a free choice because we've put you in an emotional condition that you got to choose between everybody dying, which is a choice, or everybody living still having the system controlling you, which is not the choice you want to have to make. Now make your choice. Now what happens is the architect goes on and he observes the following. Let me ask you a question. Is the architect perfect? No. How do we know the architect isn't perfect? He's admitted it time and time again that as far as the system is concerned, he wasn't at all times sure he knew what he was doing. Does that mean that whatever the architect is saying now is for a surety to be true? Judging on his past performance, he's only trying to use a poker hand to get Neo to do what he hopes he's going to do, or else the architect himself is going beyond the frontier of the architect's full understanding of what's happening here. Isn't this an incredible story? Who in the heck are the Wachowski brothers, and how in the hell are they putting this thing together? I mean, this is really a little bit more interesting than the review that says it's not politically correct, because the Wachowski brothers obviously have it in for the people that are putting down albinos. Hello? I think we're a little bit far beyond just destroying the reputation of albinos here. And I think we're a little bit beyond seeing if we can pack nonstop special action in from the first minute to the last of 136 minutes being the criteria for the message we're trying to get across here. So our architect is here, and he observes the following. While the other 5 predecessors experienced this programming, this coercion, in a very general way, your experience, Neo, is far more specific vis-a-vis love. Wait a minute. What is the prime directive for the real world? Love the Creator. Love all of His creation, including everyone around you. Your friends, your relatives, your enemies, whoever it is. Love. What is love based on? Commerce or service? Service. It has nothing to do with commerce. Ever since the Garden of Eden, the premise of love has been turned into the premise of commerce. And the 6 previous matrices were operated on the premise of commerce. Every one of the rebels that made it to the mainframe control were rebelling against the matrix to give the people of Zion one capacity. What was that one capacity? To control their own commerce. Maximize their own profits and gains. Keep the commerce in their own control. What are the patriots trying to do? Destroy the Federal Reserve? You bet. Why do the patriots not like the Federal Reserve? It controls their money. What do the patriots want? Gold and silver, so we control our own commerce. What's so much different about cheating your brother with your own gold than cheating your brother with the Federal Reserve's paper? You're still motivated on commerce, theft, on nothing but weights and measures. You still fail to serve. You will not serve unless you charge your brother and kill him, just like our friend Cain killed his brother to pay his debts. And so what the architect is observing here is, we facilitated the response from the previous 5 in a general way, but we're observing that you have a much far different, more specific result vis-a-vis love. Neo says, Trinity! What was his conversation with the oracle? The oracle said, have you ever seen the source in your dreams? And what did Neo say? Yes, the white light in the room. What happens when you enter into the white room? Something happens to Neo, or to Trinity. She starts falling. And it's bad. Does Trinity die? I don't know. I wake up. Neo, you now have the vision. You are no longer seeing things from the matrix. Are you telling me I have to make a choice as to whether or not Trinity is going to live or die? No, the choice has already been made. It's only one question. You have to understand why. Now, what has the architect told him? We put you here so that you would do our bidding, and we put you in a programmed predicament, and you will have to do what we want you to do. And we're going to use the only weapon that we know we can use against you. We've put the system program into putting Trinity in danger in the matrix. Her life is on the line. That's how we're going to get your response. When Neo says Trinity, the architect says, apropos, you're right with me. You're one smart dude. You know exactly what it is that we're doing. Let me ask you a question. Who is in control? The matrix. This was programmed. This was going to happen. Neo is not in control. Morpheus is not in control. Trinity is not in control. The rebels and the patriots that have seen the problems in the matrix and come out of the matrix and are living in Zion, and they believe they have a sense of control, are not in control. Because the world of Zion and the world of the matrix are irrevocably intertwined like a double helix, like the DNA of the world and the society, and you cannot break them apart. Apropos, the architect says, she entered the matrix to save your life at the cost of her own. Neo earlier had gotten Trinity to promise she would not, under any circumstance, go back into the matrix, to which she said she would not. But because of problems that were unforeseen, Morpheus, the keymaker, and Neo's life were to be destroyed because of a glitch that was not taken care of, that they presumed was. So Neo gave up the presumption of her safety to go into the matrix, taking the risk, knowing that if she didn't go into the matrix in spite of her promise and risk, that Neo, Morpheus, and the Keymaker would be destroyed. So she gave up her life to save theirs. Neo goes, "No!" The architect said, which brings me at last to the moment of truth where the fundamental flaw is ultimately expressed. What is the fundamental flaw? We've got to create antagonists in order to keep the system intact. The 1%, rebels, have to be created in order to keep it intact, even though it appears as though they're going to overthrow us. And the anomaly revealed is both beginning and end. The 1% that believe they're not in control are actually in control. The architect says there are two doors. The door to your right leads to the source and the salvation of Zion. Which door is that? The one that would shut down the matrix. It's a dream of everybody living in Zion. So the door of your salvation is on your right. The door to your left leads back to the matrix, to her, Trinity, and to the end of your species. Why to the end of your species? Because if you go back into the matrix and don't shut it down now, the machines will destroy Zion. The reason you came here to stop this. It leads back to the matrix, to Trinity, and to the end of your species. As you adequately put, the problem is choice. Neil, I'm giving you a choice. That's what you want. That's what you get. A choice. Shut down the matrix. Trinity dies. The people of Zion live. The machines are gone. Or take the left door, go back into the matrix, and try to save Trinity. The choice is yours. Let me ask you a question. What does the right door represent and what does the left door represent? Private? Which door is the private? The what? The right door is the private? The left door is the private? First of all, we've got to ask ourselves, who is the holder? Because whoever the holder is the prime party to which it's his right and his left. Whoever the non-holder is, it's irrelevant and immaterial. Who is the holder in this matter? How many say it's Neo? Raise your hand. How many say it's the architect? Raise your hand. I think most people are sleeping in this room. Let me state that there was a couple of faint, we vote for Neos, and most everybody raised their architect hands. What is the real answer? What did Caleb say?
Architect.
Has anybody in this room ever known Caleb to be mostly right at all in his life? Caleb is once again proving that the matrix is infallible. Neo is the one. He makes the choice. He has the energy. He is the creditor. Neo's right-hand door is what? His private or public door? His private door. He can solve his problem with the public matrix by going through the private door and shutting it down. He is the only one given the power to shut the matrix down. The left door is the public door back into the matrix, which is not the real world. This will make perfect sense to you in a minute. There are two doors, Neo. The door to your right leads to the source of the salvation of Zion. The door to your left, the public world, leads back to Matrix, to her, to the end of your species. As you adequately put, the problem is choice. But we already know what you are going to do, don't we? What do we know he's going to do? Which door is he going through? He's going through the left door back into the matrix. I am now really upset because that's the door that Caleb has chosen. He's reversing his 100% wrong stand, which means we can't rely on him anymore. The architect goes on and says, already I can see the chain of reaction, the chemical precursors that signal the onset of an emotion designed specifically to overwhelm logic and reason. Logic and reason would be on the private side, right? Emotion would be on the public side, right? And already our architect is going, I can see you're going to go back into the matrix. Which is kind of good for the architect, ain't it? Because that's what he's assuming and presuming. It will be bad for Zion. They will be creamed, but they will still have the matrix going with 99% of the slaves. They'll choose 23 and restart Zion. The architect goes on. It's an emotion that is already blinding you from the simple and obvious truth. She is going to die. And there is nothing you can do to stop it. Hope. It is the quintessential human delusion. Simultaneously the source of your greatest strength and your greatest weakness. Neo says to the architect, if I live, you should hope that we will not meet again. Negative affirmative. The architect, we won't. Neo leaves by the left door. Remember what we've said time and time again? That a remedy in the private without a corresponding remedy to witness it in the public is not a closed remedy at all. Neo was forced to leave by the public door to resolve that problem first by resolving the public issue, so that he could also hopefully later resolve the private issue and close the deal. The people of Zion are not separate and distinct from the matrix. We are all linked inexorably together. Our remedy comes together as the matrix, reloaded so carefully and cleverly, tells us. The future is only as good as both sides going together in harmony and peace without war, because if you're stuck as the people of Zion making war against the matrix, you will be destroyed. You are not part of the remedy. You will not provide the solution. The solution was not at this time for Neo to go through the right door, go to war against the matrix, and shut it down. He went to peace to save Trinity if he could, so that the overcomers could create the destruction of the matrix by love, by service, instead of by commercial consideration of warfare to destroy the matrix by war. It's an oxymoron. Neo chose wisely. Neo's motivation for choosing the left door was different than the motivation of the 5 previous parties attempting to close down the matrix. As Morpheus so adequately proposes in The Matrix Reloaded, when he talks to the commander of the military defending Zion, you will need more than all of your battleships and all of your military to prevent the machines from destroying the people of Zion. That the battle will be won not by the military, but through the prophecy concerning Neo, through the application of the non-commercial consideration, i.e. love, not conquest. It's an incredible film. I have given you the why. I have not told you the what. You can now go see the movie and enjoy the good feelings of the Hollywood film, because that's what 99% of us want out of the movie, is to feel good anyway. We don't want to have to take the time to ask what the cause-effect relationship is that's going on. We don't want to have to waste our time in the theater watching The Matrix Reloaded by trying to comprehend the why. So now you can go there and just relax. Remember, next week we have no meeting here. God willing, we'll be back the week following.